How to budget my income as a new grad in NYC. Hello, I'm a recent grad, starting my career in NYC with an annual income of 104K. Nice. Very good. 104K, nice. Nice, first job, 104K. Wow, you're rich. After taxes, I think it's $5,695 a month. Probably that's about $6,000 or 60,000 grand. I currently live with my parents and we'll start working a month, planning on staying at 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 months, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they should be getting paid 100K. They can't write. Save up before moving out. I've only had minimum wage jobs during undergraduate before, and this was my first real career job. This is the first time actually moving out on my own. Haha. I was wondering if anyone could give me any guidance. How much money should I save before I move out? Also, is $1,700 to $1,900 really pushing it? If I wanted to get a 1-bedroom apartment for myself, I'm not opposed to having 1 to 2 roommates, but I've lived with other people for so long that I truly just want to experience living on my own. I have $40K in federal student loans. I'm planning on paying it off in maybe 4 to 5 years, about $900 a month. Or should I suck it up and get roommates and pay off my loans faster, have more savings? Thank you. All right, what do we think? So let's break it down. $104,000. And if you pay, let's say, what, 40K in times 6, right? So 62,000 divided by 12. That means that they'd have about $5,200 after taxes every month. Of that, they want to pay, let's say, $1,900 in rent. That brings you to $3,300. Let's say that they've got another $200 or so in utilities. That's probably an overestimation, but let's just say $200. Now they're down to $3,100. They got $900 in student loans a month. That leaves you with $2,200 after you've only paid your rent, your utilities, and your student loans. And you got $2,200 basically to live on. If you've probably got food and other things, it leaves you with about $550 per week to live on in New York City.
Yeah, I mean, the top comment was someone basically just saying, like, word for word, if you have a good rapport with your parents, stay with them as long as you can, right? Because that's the general idea is, like, New York City is expensive. I mean, we live there, right? So $100,000 anywhere else in the country outside of kind of those major metropolitan areas is a shit ton of money, right? But when you think about it in the context of in New York City, it's not really.
If you're making 100K, if you're making 100K in some rural part of the country, you're a trillionaire.
That's
basically.
what I mean. Yeah, the quality of life is just way different. But in New York City, the rent's obviously super high. Cost of living, food, going out, anything, right? Even if you're like on a strict budget, shopping for groceries, everything like that. So I think, the key when you look at stuff like this is just what's your largest expense, right? And that's clearly going to be rent for him here. So how can you reduce that? You can live at home, you can get roommates, you can do that kind of stuff. But you have some like non-negotiables, right? You got to pay your loans off, you have to eat, you have to do certain things like that. So it's how can you reduce the other stuff? And then how can you just make more money? If you put in a lot of hours at your job, you get promoted, maybe you make more money quicker, right? There's only so much saving you can do. But it's a little deceiving, right? When you look at New York City, $100,000, it just doesn't go as far as you might think it does.
$2,200 was after they paid rent, utilities, and their student loans, right? So you could live off $550. If instead they spent the $1,900 on their student loans, they would pay off the student loans, $40,000 in debt, right? They would pay it off in 21 months. But if you took that $1,900 that they were going to spend on rent, plus the $900 that they were budgeting for their student loans, that's $2,800. And if you basically said, all right, we're going to spend all $2,800 in just over 1 year, in 14 months, they'd be out of debt.
So that's the key, right? Is like, can you suck it up for a year or 12 months and do the commute and do maybe things that you don't want to
14 months, you can be out of debt. All you have to do is not go get that apartment, live at home. It sucks, whatever. Tell your mom that you love her cooking. Tell your dad that you love his cooking. Tell him that you want to go to the movies on Friday night. Whatever you want to do, stay at home. Spend $1,900, put it towards your student loans. $900 you already were budgeting, put that towards your student loans. You probably could do it even faster because all of a sudden, if you're not having that rent, what ends up happening is you get out of debt. Getting out of debt gets you back to the starting line, right?
Yep.
All right, what do we think in terms of how much savings? If somebody says, I don't have a great relationship with my family, I can't stay here, I have to move out, get a roommate.
Yeah, I mean, that's
you're 22, 23 years old. You ain't earned the right to live by yourself yet.
Yeah.
Like, go get a roommate and save money. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, you get something that's cheaper on the rent side, and then you get a roommate to split the cost with, right? But that goes back to there's only so much you can do to budget and save, right? The key is always going to earn more money. So if you can find a different job that pays more, if you can accelerate your career at a faster pace, if you can do something on the side to make cash, whatever it is, it's typically easier to earn more money than it is to just budget and save.
With that said, though, I know a lot of kids who they always thought that was their issue. Like it was like, hey, like I'm behind, and why am I behind? Because I don't make enough, and I want to live the same lifestyle. The problem is their money management as well. So they basically like they would make more money, and then they would just spend more money.
Well, the key, his or her best advice might be just to get out of New York City, right? Like if you can find that similar job that pays a similar amount of money somewhere else, even if it's a large city but a smaller cost of living, it might make sense to do that.
The second thing is if you're putting $900 towards your student loans, that sounds like that's probably the minimum payment. If you could basically figure out a way to live, let's just say that you said, all right, I'm going to live on $50 a day, right? So $300 a week, give or take. And if I live on that $300 or so a week, that would end up being $1,200. That'll give you another $1,000. So even if you got the apartment, even if you paid the utilities, even if you made your $900 and you said, I'm going to live on $300 a week, then you would have another $1,000 that you could either be investing with, paying off the debt, whatever. Now, here's the question is, would you rather pay off the debt or would you rather invest? In this scenario, if you could get it to the point where you were still living at home and you could basically put over $2,000 towards the debt and you knew you could pay it off in 14 months, I would actually say
like the excess cash.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I would make the minimum payment.
You'd make the minimum?
And invest the rest.
Oh no, I would definitely pay it off.
But if there's no penalty.
If there's no penalty for what?
Like say you have a minimum payment of whatever it is per month.
$900.
Yeah, $900. And you have an extra 1,000. So you're saying basically just get back to the starting line, zero debt as quick as possible. You could do that, or you could take that extra $1,000 or whatever it is and invest it in the market, right? Because if you think about it, if he gets in the market 2 years earlier than he would have, say he's putting that in an IRA, that's going to compound over time. It's going to be worth way, way, way more when he actually goes to access it.
Yeah, I think we're saying the same thing, which is if they live at home, you take your $1,900 that you were going to spend on rent. You take your $900 that you were going to pay. Now you got $2,800. You put that towards your debt. That debt will be paid off in 14 months. That's pretty good. To get 14 months out of school and get your debt paid off, I think you're doing pretty good there. But you still would have another, what would end up being $2,500 because you wouldn't be spending money on the utilities, and you would have the $2,200 that was going to be left over anyways. Out of that $2,500, if you could figure out how to live on basically, let's call it $1,200, $300 a week.
Yep.
Now you've got $1,300 additional. That's what you can go and invest with, right?
Yeah.
So you basically you're paying off. You know you're going to be done in 14 months. Get the hell out of the debt, but then you got a little bit extra cash. Go and invest that in the market, and that's where you can start get compounding working for you. By the end of the year, right, you're going to have invested $15,000 or so, and really kind of be starting kind of your financial journey with 5 figures in investments. That's not bad to start. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching that clip of the Best Business Show. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you know when we go live every weekday, and then head to SoFi.com/Pomp so that you can get an account and we can get after it.